Okay. I don't know how long this pride flag is going to stay up there. Can't lie. Can't lie. It's just with blue tack. Blue tack's my best friend right now. Okay, hey. So, you already know. Fidget toy. I was homophobic and I was transphobic. Deeply. And I'm no longer homophobic and transphobic. The only homophobia and transphobia I got is internalized, which we're working on. Yeah, I was deeply homophobic and deeply transphobic, and I am no longer deeply homophobic nor transphobic. I am an ally to my gays and my trans people. How did I get here? I'm sorry, this is not gonna be, again, in chronological order, but I think the biggest how I got here is that I never actually was at least homophobic. I was never actually in my heart fully homophobic. And the transphobia, I don't think I was in my heart fully transphobic either. Basically, when I was younger, I always thought, skipping trans people, ignoring them for a second. Ignoring trans people for a second, because trans people weren't even on my mind. I didn't even know what they were, who they were, like when I was younger, which is funny because I did come across some trans YouTubers when I was younger, but I didn't connect the dots. I didn't realize what was going on. Like Ty Turner, I was watching when I was early secondary school, and I would watch his videos where he's like 5 months on T, 1 year on T. I would watch them. Didn't compute. Dead ass. I'm watching this man change, and I was just like, that's cool. Bro, he's trans. So trans people weren't on my radar. Gay people were on my radar. I also didn't connect the dots with gay people because I was having gay thoughts. So I'm a woman at this time. I'm thinking about women as a woman, and I didn't realize that was gay, and I thought everyone did it. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gay, but there are gay people, and that's fine. I've always been like, that's fine. Like, I didn't care. I was just living like I didn't care. And then there was one point when I was younger, I was in primary school, and did I have social media? Or no, I think I was early secondary school. So I was in early secondary school, so maybe like between, how old are you in secondary school? Between 12 and 14 years old. And there was an uptick, or maybe just because I had just got social media, I started seeing the phrase gay is okay. There was a lot of like queers online, and they were like, you know, advocating for themselves. So I started seeing like, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be gay. And I was like, nothing seems wrong with that sentence, that makes sense to me. And I was like, calm. And then there was one situation where my mum let me know that being gay is not okay. I was playing Xbox. This is when the Xbox One, when did that came out? Whenever the Xbox One came out, I will find out when it came out, because then I can get the exact age I was, because I had bought the Xbox. Oh, I must have been like 16 or something then, actually. I have no idea. Anyways, maybe it wasn't. No, it was the Xbox One. Anyway, sorry. I was playing online with my friends. Again, I'm a woman at this time, and I was playing with my friends, and then this guy online guy friend is teasing my other online guy friend, and he's like, oh, he has a crush on you, and I was like, I don't want him to have a crush on me. I didn't like him. I didn't even see this man. I don't understand how he had a crush on me. Like, I'm not that good. Anyways, he had a crush on me. So I was like, I need to steer this conversation away from me and having a crush on me. And so I started teasing him and being like, no, he doesn't have a crush on me. He's gay. And then he's like, no, I'm not gay. And then I was like, don't worry. It's okay. It's okay to be gay. And my mum's in the room watching me play. Because, you know, you got to make sure you know what your kids are doing. And I have my headphones on, so she can only hear my side of the conversation. So then we finish our game, I get off, maybe I'm like gonna get something to eat or something, and then she's like, what was that conversation about? So I relayed her the conversation. She sat me down and was like, okay, well, it's not, right? And then I was like, what's not? She's like, it's not okay to be gay. And from that moment, it was like a switch in my brain. I was like, okay, well, my mother said it's not okay, so it must not be okay. I did ask why. The explanation was like, she was like, because the Bible says, and I was just like, I always thought it was stupid in my head. It wasn't, that answer was not getting to me. That answer was not enough for me. I was like, I don't see why God would say that. I don't see anything wrong with it. I always felt that deep down. But this was my mum. I was at that point where, when you're younger, you think your parents know everything and that they're perfect. So I was still in that mindset that my parents are perfect. So I was like, okay, well, she's my mum. She must be right. Being gay must be okay. After that, I became a menace. After that, I would literally like pipe up in school, make gay jokes, call things gay, make sure everyone knew I wasn't okay with being gay. Like, I was horrid. Like, like if I met me, I'd want to slap me as a teacher, and you can't do that, and you go to prison. Like, from that day, and I'm very much that person. Like, I have a switch, and my mum told me what's what. She's like, it's not okay to be gay. The switch turned on. Homophobia switch just on. But really, if you look behind the wires, I don't actually think this way. And I think me not thinking that way was always simmering under the surface, just begging to come out. Like, even when I would say homophobic things, like one time I was in biology class, and the class hadn't started, we were all just getting ready to sit down, and I was like to my friends, I think I figured out why people are gay. And I was like, is that why thing? I was talking about in another video how, like, when I was questioning my gender, I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I trans? I've always been that way. I'm always like, why? So I was like, in my head, this is subconscious, in little me's head, I was like, I think I figured out why people are gay, and that way you can stop it. That's subconscious though, it was subconscious. Anyway, so I was like, I think I figured out why people were gay. And this was only for gay men, never women. So I was like, how we had just learned, how that everyone starts off female in the womb, and then the chromosomes kicking, the Y, I think the Y chromosome hits in, and then you go to testes and you start to be a male. They were like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, well, maybe for gay men, the Y just doesn't kick hard enough and they don't fully become male. And so that's why they grow up and they like men, because liking men is a girl thing. And they were like, that kind of makes sense, okay. And then one of my friends was like, but what about women? I was like, yeah, I haven't figured out that one out yet. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, dumb. That is a wild theory, bro. Creative. If I heard that, my teacher should have said something. I think maybe she did. I don't remember. How can you just let a child talk like that? That is so... I think she might have said something. I feel like she might have been like, that's not true, or like, that's stupid, something like that. But oh my God, see what I mean? I was a menace. I don't even remember why I started that point, but you can see that's the point where I'm at. And bear in mind, I think my classmates had a bit of homophobia, like had a bit of homophobic views, but they never were like me. I was the only one like speaking out. Like, I would want to bring up gay people all the time. I was that like obsessive, and maybe I think again subconsciously a little bit was because I was gay myself, but also a lot of it was like my people pleasing tendencies. Like, the second my mum told me and I flipped that homophobia switch, I was like, I need to make sure I'm doing my mum proud. Okay, she told me it's not right, I need to let the world know. And I started acting as if my mum was in the room in school with me, and like, would she want me to say something right now? So that's how I was acting. Down with the transphobia, it just felt like a natural progression. I was a little, the only time I was vocal about trans people in class is when we read a poem about a trans woman. And I was a little bit older, so maybe like 14, 15 now. And my English teacher was like, does everyone like the poem? And I was like, no, it's about trans women. I don't like the poem. It's not good. And she was an ally. She told me what was what, and I loved that for her. Oh, love that teacher. But that was the only time. And I remember reading the poem, and it was about a trans woman, and she was looking at a cis woman, and she was just kind of admiring the cis woman, the way she moves, the way she carries herself, and imitating it, and wanting to be like a woman, you know what I mean? And I was reading the poem, and I was like, this man wants to be a woman. That doesn't seem right. That seems wrong. I remember thinking that seems wrong. I remember feeling that it feels like something I should dislike. It feels like something that shouldn't be right. It feels like it is in line with my homophobic views. And so I said something. And so I said I didn't like it. Did I actually like the poem? If I'm remembering the poem correctly, I actually didn't like the poem. Not because it was a trans woman. I actually really didn't care for the poem in general, if I'm thinking back now. But I could have just said I didn't like the poem because I didn't like the poem. You know what I mean? I had to be transphobic. My inner thoughts, my actual thoughts, my non-transphobic, non-homophobic thoughts started to bubble up when I met queer people in college. I got to college, which is the ages of 16 to 18, the last 2 years of high school for American people. So I'm between the ages of 16 and 18 now. And I didn't realize it, but all the friendship group I had, most of them were gay. There was like a pan guy, there was like pansexual guy, there was like a pansexual guy, there was like lesbians, there was people questioning their sexuality, and they were like open. And I got along with them at first, and then I just started at college, and I just had this friendship group. I started hanging out with them. Maybe like a couple of weeks in, I realized, oh shit, they're gay. And then there was also this like stereotypically flamboyant gay guy that would hop in and out of the group. He wasn't like fully part of our group, but he was friends with some of the friends in my group. And so I was just immediately surrounded by gay people, which is hilarious because birds of a feather, hello. And I had already taken a liking to these people. I was like, these are going to be my people for the next 2 years. I'm happy with that. I like them. These are going to be my people. I already took a liking to them, and then I found out they're gay. And there was a conflict that happened inside of me because I liked these people. I made these friends. I was scared. It was a new school. Like, I didn't know if I was going to make friends. I hadn't joined a new school in 5 years since when I joined secondary. Like, come on. So I was like, I don't really want to leave these people because then I have to find new friends. But I actually like them. Surely nothing's wrong with them. Like, yeah, they're gay, but does it matter? They're nice. Like, there was an internal conflict. The homophobic switch was buzzing and was like, no, you shouldn't be friends with them. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. I started coming to this point in my life where I started doing what I wanted to do. And it's funny how that aligned. I was coming to a point into my life where I was starting to do what I wanted to do, stick up for myself, be less of a people pleaser, just that much less. And so I was like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to be friends with these people. I was friends with these people for the whole 2 years. And the more and more I interacted with them, the more I was just like, the inner feelings of me already not caring about gay people was already bubbling up inside of me. And then I made friends with these people, and it just kind of flew out. And I was like, yeah, it just kind of flew out. However, there was still parts of me that I would still go home, and if we were talking about gay, if we had a conversation, I would still say homophobic things, be homophobic, like in the comfort of my own home. So at school, I started to pretend that I was completely 100% supportive of the LGBT community. One time, the very flamboyant gay guy, he outright, which I love this for him, he outright just asked me, do you like gay people? Are you support? I think it was like, yeah, do you like gay people? And I was stunned because the answer was no. The real-ish answer was no. And immediately I was imagining like my mum was there in the room. Like she would want me to say no. And the answer I gave was my answer, the inner bubbling answer, which was like, they're people. That's what I said. And it was funny because it felt fake, because it's not the answer that I wanted to give, but it was the answer that I did want to give at the same time, because like, I actually didn't care. They are just people. Like, so conflicting. After those 2 years in college, I didn't keep any of my college friends, and I went to uni, and yeah, made my friends at uni, whatever. Life is fine. I would always think back to those friends, and I would always think back to those moments in college, like holding them as an example. Like, these are gay people. They're fine. They're just normal people. Like, what is wrong with them? And I started to really have an internal conflict. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with these group of people, these friends, like those people were like, and so why would there be anything wrong with the gay community as a whole? And I was probably having an internal conflict. And I'm not sure how long this internal conflict would have lasted had I not met my girlfriend. Who knows? Jesus Christ, who knows? Because going to uni changed the trajectory of my life. Going to uni, when I started I lived out every year at uni. And so I had already started in college the process of living exactly how I want to live, being exactly who I want to be, doing exactly what I want. And now I'm at uni, and that's all I can do because I live there. Like, my parents aren't even around. And so I just started doing anything that I wanted to do, whatever I wanted to do. And I met my girlfriend, and I didn't know I was gay at this time, not yet, but there was an immediate connection with her. And then we started dating. And then there was a proper conflict. Proper. Because now I can't escape the fact that I'm gay. So up until this point, I never really was homophobic. Never in my heart. I met gay people and they were lovely. And I had a laugh with them and life was chill. And like, how could anyone hate gay people if like these are the representation for gay people that I had? Like, they're fine. And now I'm gay. Do you see the problem? Do you see the problem? Gosh, life was so easy before. Jesus Christ. And the thing is, I'm mostly talking about the gay thing because the transphobia was so deep back. But it actually was there, and it really is simultaneous, because simultaneously I realized I'm gay. I start dating my girlfriend, and then the switch happens again. Like, I don't know what this is about me, but I can switch. As soon as I asked my girlfriend out, so as soon as I asked my girlfriend out, she said yes. I flipped that homophobia switch off. Like, I switched it, and I was like, it would behoove me to not be homophobic as someone who is now gay and had lovely gay friends. And actually, I like queerness as a whole. Like, I don't know. I started reading, like, I had, in uni, when COVID happened, my friend recommended me They Both Die in the End, which is a gay book. This book. And I'm still homophobic at this time. I read it and I didn't like it because they were gay and it was a love story. But before they were gay, here's the thing. One of the characters is bisexual, and you know that from the jump. The other character, sorry, spoilers, is gay, but it's never mentioned. Nothing is not important to the story until they get together. And I'm loving them. They're forming a friendship. It's a beautiful book. And then they get together. And my world just kind of crumbles. I'm reading this book. It's 2020. My friend recommended it to me. She's an ally to the queers. And also being friends with that friend as well. She was such an outspoken ally. And again, I'm having to pretend. Like, I started pretending to like agree with her. But she would make actual valid points. About queer people. Like, one of the things she always used to say is like, oh, people will always say that being gay is not natural, but the prostate is also the G-spot for men, and the only way to access the prostate is by, you know, penetration. Who can penetrate people? Obviously women can penetrate men, but like, you know, a dick goes up your butt. Like, and how can you say it's not natural? To me, that was a really good argument, because like, it's so true. Like, and I think the same thing for like women. Like, the function of the clitoris is only for pleasure, which means anyone can access that part of a female's body. Anyone, female, male, man, woman, gender non-conform, whatever, like anyone. It doesn't matter. It's not like the vagina is the only point of pleasure for a female's body, and so only a penis can access it. You know what I mean? Like, no. So that argument, and it always stuck with me, and I just started to like, I don't know, I just existed, and I accidentally surrounded myself with gay people and allies, and life just fucking crumbled for me. Yeah, and now I'm gay, and I'm like, you know what, being gay I can't be homophobic. I flipped that switch off. I was like, how can I be homophobic? I am gay. That is gonna harm me, like, no. So immediately I flipped that switch off after I asked out my girlfriend, and I was like, I'm no longer homophobic. And I flipped the transphobia switch off too, because I was like, they're part of the community. They seem fine. Did I know no offense at this point? No, I don't think I was into no offense at this point. But I did start watching a few more trans YouTubers like Jamie Rains. This man, Jamie. I started watching him and I was just like, he's so sweet. He's such a lovely guy. And I always appreciate, he has a PhD. Like, I always appreciate someone who's like educated and like being educated and like studying and stuff. And I'm just like, they're just people, man. Like, what is this, you know? So I flipped that switch off. I guess you can skip a little bit ahead. I start questioning my gender, and then now I'm trans. Like, how can I? It would behoove me to not be transphobic and homophobic as a trans gay person. Now, to my friends and my family watching, I say gay as a catch-all term. I'm not actually gay. I like men and women. And everyone in between. I just don't care. The gender doesn't bother me. Like, if you're sexy, you're sexy. Like, that's what it is for me. But gay just feels like, you know, it just captures it all. And if I say gay, you know what I mean. You know I'm not straight. That's enough for me. And yeah, you know what trans means. But yeah. So my journey out of homophobia and transphobia was mostly meeting trans people. If we remove the fact that I am those things as well, I would be an ally right now. I would be a big ally. So like that friend I was really close with in college and uni, who was a really big ally and was saying like, how dare you say it's not natural, all of that. Like, she really big help. And then because she's saying things and I'm like, that kind of makes sense. And I already barely believed it. So I'm like, yeah, I already barely believed it. And for like when my mom was saying that, oh, because the Bible says, I just couldn't believe after everything I had been taught about God. Like, all I've been taught about God is that he's loving, he's a father, and he's forgiving, all of that. And I'm like, these are all really good things. I don't see how a loving father who made me and made gay people hate gay people. I don't understand. Another character in my story, in my law, I had this teacher. She was a Muslim. This is in college. She was my law teacher. She was one of my BTech law teachers. And I don't know how she would be considered by other Muslims, but she, I remember we were talking in class one time and she was like, I think people are born gay. And I didn't really understand what she meant. I don't know how we got into this conversation. We kind of were talking about how, like, she's a Muslim and she's like, oh, I really would like someone to like drug me with like alcohol because I would like to taste alcohol, but I can't have alcohol. And you know, we thought it's funny, we have a little laugh, because she said, according to her religion, if she accidentally has alcohol, is it alcohol that they can't have? I think so. Yeah. If she accidentally has alcohol, it's not bad because it was an accident. So she wants that. And then I guess we were talking about other things that she believes that might contradict Islam. And so she was like, oh, I also think people are born gay. And I was like, excuse me, miss, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? She's like, yeah, like, I think they are born that way. They can't change their sexuality. Like, it's how they exist in the same way you were born straight. And I was like, oh, yeah, right, I get you. I didn't want to refute in the middle of class, but when she said it, I actually wasn't lying when I was like, oh, yeah, I get you. Because, like, I also thought that. I actually, like, I thought about it for a second when she said that, and when she explained it, I was like, I actually also thought that. I'm still homophobic at this time, pretending to be an ally because I have gay friends. And I went home after that lesson, and I thought to myself, wait a second, people being born gay, I actually do think that. And if people are born gay, that means they can't change who they are. And if they can't change it, how could it be bad? If it's who they are, if it's unchangeable, How can anyone hate something that you can't change about yourself? That's like hating me for being black. I can't change the fact that I'm black. Well, that's like hating someone for, I was going to say for being ugly. I guess you can change a little bit of your looks. But I started to, another crack breaking down. You know what I mean? Another like wire coming loose in my homophobia switch. Like, I'm just sitting there and I'm having this conflict. I'm like, but this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. I agree with this. People are born gay. That means they can't change it. But if they can't change it, why would God hate it? Did God make it? If God made it, you can't change it. Yeah, it's just wildness. And this is just like, it felt like it was every so often from college until uni. From college until uni, up until I met my girlfriend and started dating her, just this internal conflict all the time. And I meet my girlfriend, I asked her out, I flipped that switch off. I guess I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much. It was too much pretending. I was very fake from secondary school up until college, in every aspect of my life. And I've realised now as well, being trans, how fake I was with that, because then I was even pretending to be a girl, kind of ish, but not really. You know, like, I'm just so fake. I'm in college, I have a whole heap of queer friends, and I'm pretending all the time to be an ally, when really I go home and shit on homophobic people with my mum and dad, and then trans people maybe a little bit, you know? And it's just like, I was tired. So I met queer people, I met allies, I spoke to them, I was friends with them. I'm gay, I'm trans, and I'm tired. And so I am no longer homophobic or transphobic. That's it. That's the story. I'm in a rambling mood, so I'm recording a lot of videos. So I'm in the same shit, you get me? But I appreciate you watching this one. So see you later. Bye.